to win in life, you must be strategic. Because when it comes to winning in life, you are going to meet a stiff competition. It's not going to be easy for you to win in life, because you are not saying to win among church members. We are not saying to win among even other churches. To win in life means to win big anywhere you find yourself. For me personally, it's an easy task. I don't find any challenge winning in any situation or circumstances where I find myself in life. If it's in university, God helped me to discover the secret of winning in life. It started when you all know my story, when I was back in my village in Africa. And when I was in my village in Africa, I was just an ordinary average student that was not doing well in school, because I was always in the village, in the bush, in the forest, gathering firewood just to survive. Then I had a farm for maize and other things. So I was not studying, really. I was not studying. Then one day, my senior sister, who is like my angel, my guiding angel, that's the way I look at her at that time, when I was 17. So she came back, because my sister had to do a lot to just make me survive, to make me survive through high school. She had to compromise a lot of things, and she was not a believer, but she had to have a boyfriend, and that was giving her some money, and then she would share the money between herself and myself, just for her to finish college and for me to finish high school. So that, because everything I was making from my farm was not too much, was not good enough. So one day, my sister came back I'm going to present her. I'm going to introduce my sister to you one day, either when she comes here to Ukraine or when I go there to Nigeria. But I'm going to make her come and answer some questions. But she's a Nigerian believer, Christian, so she might be overly spiritual, But, still, I'm going to let her come to talk to you. You must know her because she's my hero. But anyway, so Sister Laide was... She came back from the school and said, Sunday. I said, yes. She said, no more money. I said, what do you mean, no more money? I said, well, she said, because all of us now, we have to live by faith. So what does that mean? Then she was telling me about the fact that she had dropped the boyfriend she was having, and she would never have a boyfriend again until she marries, because she got born again. Ooh, okay, got born again. So that's a bad news right here. So what does it mean to be born again? So she preached the gospel to me. This was before I watched Kumuyi on television. So because we were so close with my sister, I respected her so much, and I loved her for what she was doing for me. So she said I should pray with her. So I prayed. Then she said God was going to sustain me. Okay. Then she showed me a scripture in Deuteronomy 28, and said the next thing for you now, the only way out for you, is for you to be serious and begin to study, and that if you study well, our brother in Moscow could offer to help you win his coming to for you. You could travel abroad, basically. You could travel abroad. They will tell you what to do to go and apply for a scholarship. So you could travel abroad if you make it, but you've got to make it very well. But if you don't make it, if you don't pass your WAEC at one sitting, because we don't even know where to get the money for you yet to go and do the one sitting, to go and pass the WAEC. We don't have the money yet, but we'll try to find you the money for you. But if you pass the exam, then you have the whole world open to you. But if you don't pass it, you will remain in this village forever. Woo! Remain in that village forever. That one, I know that was not an option. So I said, what to do? So she showed me that scripture in the Bible that says that God will make us the head and not the tail, and said I should believe that. And the Bible in that place said, if you will do all diligently, if you will diligently observe all that I have told you and everything. So I repeated the prayer after her, just to have God help me pass my WAEC. And, I tried to live right, what she said, but it didn't really work out. But a year later, I got saved for real when I was watching Kumuyi. But anyway, talking about strategic thinking, I said one of the greatest things that has happened to me is the fact that God showed me the secret of success and the secret of life, one of the greatest secrets of life. And unfortunately, many of our people still don't know that. So we over-rely on God for everything, and we over-burden heaven for things that are not necessary. So when I say that by the grace of God, I've learned to be the best everywhere I am, not among some people, like some people say, oh, I'm the best black person there, or I'm the best Nigerian something in that thing, or I'm the first Nigerian there, or I'm the first black person there. That shouldn't be your criteria at all. You should be the best of anybody. If you are living in England, you should be the best in your specialty or whatever you are doing among any human being that is in that specialty. If you are living in America and you are in any sphere of life, you should be the best among the Americans or Japanese or wherever, among any human being that is in that category. That is the way thanks to that scripture that my sister showed me, it opened to me just clearly that, wow. So God is interested that I will be the best. And I started to work on it and to be the best. And it worked out, it's unbelievable, because I had not studied before then in my secondary school. I was one of the average guy, never one of the best students. I was either one of the last or one of just in the middle. But when I got that scripture, I knew that if I would study hard, I could be the best in everything. So this was just 1 year before my WAEC, I started to study. And I was so surprised to get the best result. No, one guy had one more credit than me. But to get, one of the top 2 best results in the school. And this guy, there were so many other guys that I used to look at as genius that time. But I discovered that geniuses are not born. That geniuses are created. Geniuses create themselves. So geniuses are not born, but geniuses are created through hard work. It is hard work that give birth to geniuses. So I discovered that. But since that time, God gave me wisdom, and that wisdom is one of the things one of my first examples of strategic thinking. I was 18 or 17. I was 17 this time, and because if I was not in the bush gathering firewood, the only other thing you will see me doing is playing football or going to parties with my friends. So since my sister told me this thing, and I know that there was no way I was going to tell my friends about that, because they are going to be laughing at me and they are going to be joking around and saying, wow, you will not have girlfriends, you will not go to party, you will not go to discotheque, that, they will just be laughing at me. Since I didn't want them to laugh at me, and they were not studying, and even if I tried to study, they would be saying, wow, you want to become a bookworm like other guys and all that. So what I would do is that I would come back from my farm, I would go and play with them the normal way. Then I would tell them, I go to there were many there. So I would say, okay, let me go to the restroom. When I go to the restroom, they are making their noise and joking and doing all kind of things. I would just go to that restroom and then use the backyard and run back to my own house. But they are taken away. They are all infatuated by their jokes and their laughter, and then I would just escape. So So later on, they began to, I will escape, of course, to study. I will go and lock myself up in the room. I would not even tell anybody in my house that I'm in the house. So I would lock myself in the room, and I would lock myself there till 3 o'clock in the night. I will get my lantern. We have a lantern in the village. So I will put on the lantern and lock the door, close the window blinds, and I will begin to study. That was what I did for 1 year. So each time these people say, why are you disappearing? Why did you... Oh, I would just say, well. But I come now. But they just enjoy it that I was there. So one of them is still angry with me up to today. He's now a pastor. He's an Anglican reverend now. And he's still angry right now. Not angry, but not like evil. Not really like angry that way. But he's still reminding me up to today that Sunday you are wicked. I said, what do you mean wicked? He said, but you used to escape that day. Yeah, so it is. You used to go and study, because you tricked us and we kept on playing and we failed. They failed. They had to do their certificates, their WAEC for 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Some of them is 4 times, some of them 5 times to do their WAEC. They say, you didn't tell us that you were going to study. So I will count that as a little strategic move right there. So I'm talking about strategic mindset. So that's why I said, for you to win in life, you of course need strategic mindset. You need to be a strategic thinker. You need to be a strategic thinker. So who is a strategic thinker? Who is a strategic thinker? For you to win in life, we've covered a lot of other points for you to win in life. If you have missed it this week, you need to go and check on the teachings. What are the qualities you need to win in life? That you don't need to keep on running after miracles and miracle workers and pastors that will just take your money, who are just interested in sucking you dry. So instead of you just giving your money to some people who just want to build their ministries and their empire, using and taking advantage of your desire for miracles and your desire for instant gratification and for getting something for nothing, it's better for you to take charge of your own life and to be in charge of your life and to determine your destiny by yourself, not waiting for God to come and do for you what you are supposed to do for yourself. God will not do for you what you are supposed to do for yourself. It's a waste of time anytime you pray those kind of prayers. God will only do for you something after you have done everything possible from your own side, not just by praying, but concerning that thing that you desire from God. Then God could come out and favor you, or when God sees that you are totally helpless, then God could come around and help you. So there are so many qualities that I've mentioned on how Emma Waspi is saying some people tell you to pay $52 for 52 weeks of favor for the new year, right? I mean, we have 52 weeks, so they will tell you to give money. That's a pastor that is giving word and gets thousands sowing $52 from vulnerable souls. Yeah, these are crooks. These are just crooks. I'm sorry to use that word, but I just don't know what other word to use. If they are preachers who do that, I guess they know what they are doing. I guess they believe in what they are doing. But if that's not crook, if that's not fraud, if that's not stealing, and if that's not robbery of God's people, then maybe I don't know something. Maybe there's something I don't understand. I don't want to appear judgmental, but for $52 from each person for 52 weeks of favor? What favor? How do you measure that? What's the guarantee you give me that I'm going to receive the favor? What's the guarantee? You get my money for sure. That's physical money. You take it. What is the guarantee? That you have my money is your guarantee. You have the money in your hand. What am I getting back? What is the guarantee? What is the assurance? You have the assurance from me, my cash. My cash is your assurance. You have my money right in your hand. Physical, tangible. So what is the physical, tangible exchange you are giving to me? For every week, what is the physical guaranteed blessing or favor you are giving me every week? That is crazy. We need to chase all these charlatans out of town. And the believers are the ones to do it. We are the ones to chase out these charlatans out of the pulpits. We need to get them out of there. This is daylight robbery. Daylight robbery. Daylight robbery. I just don't know any other way to say it. It's daylight robbery. Daylight robbery. He says they are getting favor from God. He says God told him to get $52 from everyone so God can bless them. You mean God needs bribery to bless anybody? What bribery did Bill Gates give to God for him to bless him? What bribery did Warren Buffett give to God for him to bless him? What bribery did the Carlos Slim from Mexico give to God for him to bless him? What bribery? What bribery? Are you kidding me? And some gullible people are believing those people and following them? I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional again because I'm not totally well yet, so I think I'll just take it easy. But this is outrageous. Someone is asking, Pastor, did you ever hear or did you ever heard of 7 times 7? What is 7 times 7? Is it 7 times 7? You said 7 times? Yeah, 7 times 7 blessing. What do you mean 7 times 7 blessing? No idea. I don't know what that means. So 7 times 7 blessing. 7 times 7. What could that mean? 7 times 7? No idea. Nobody even. I hear all kind of stories, but I never heard of 7 times 7. I just can't get my head around 7 times 7 yet. 7 times 7. Okay. Well, Onyinye said some actually asked for. They said $52 is even nothing. Onyinye is saying that some people actually ask for $1,000 seed to break poverty in your life. $1,000, not $52. So if they're asking you for $52, you're a lucky guy. That guy is not greedy. He's modest. What about the one asking for $1,000 for you to get out of poverty? If you're already poor, where will you get $1,000 from? You rather give me $1,000 to get out of poverty, not to take from me. She naked. My God. Wow. Anyway, so instead of you to continue being duped by these so-called pastors, I mean, some people are much more tricky. They don't ask you outrightly for $20,000 or so. Sheikh Fatima said last year was $2016. So because it's 2016 year, so this year will be $2017 for you to have a successful year. My God, what a joke! And I heard that some of them don't outrightly ask for for you to give 1,000 or 50. They know this one is easy to detect that it's a joke. They just declare those ones who do this, who ask for this kind of things. Those are the ones who don't have churches. These are normally the ones who don't have a congregation. But the ones who have a congregation have another trick they use. The ones who have congregation, they have events. So they will organize 40 days event or 20 days event or 21 day event, so that every day they will be doing offering. So like they could say 21 days of miracle or 30 days of miracle or 40 days of miracle or 40 days of poverty, breaking poverty, or 40 days of something, 30 days of fasting and prayer, and every day you have to do offering. You have to do offering. So at the end of the day, they get more than, even if you are going to give $10 each time for 40 days, $10 each, you already $10 each for 40 days. You already got all your money. It's already more than $52 dollars per something. So that's what some of them do. So they make you come to church every day for as many days as possible, and then they make sure they have offering at least once a day or 2 or 3 times at a time. Joseph Dawala said, he said you can give any amount of money with 2 7s or 3 7s. Ooh, wow, that man is a mathematician. Huh? Example like 177.77 times 77. Okay, 177 times 77, and God will provide you with a breakthrough. It's in Atlanta. Wow. Ooh. Wow. Ooh. Some people are just cooking up all kind of manipulations to get rid of people's money. People are, it's not just get rid of people, want to get to do people of their money. Oh, that is amazing. That is just crazy. Yemisi say, Pastor, I can't wait to listen to your message. I tell you what, this one is a message also. Maybe it's not less important than the message I want to teach about. So I will not defer my comment on the charlatans. I'm sorry, Yemisi. You might come back later, but I will not defer my message. I will not defer my message on the charlatans. I will going to hit hard on the charlatans first before I preach the message. If we don't get rid of them, we will not set anybody free. We will not be able to set free. This is one of the most important messages. If you don't speak the truth, people are not going to be set free from deception. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So we are going to speak the truth, and the truth should set people free. So I'm not going to defer those comments and those my opinions. It is because of the silence of the righteous that those iniquities and those wicked, any kind of wickedness, it prospers, because people like you and I are quiet. It is when we refuse to address issues that these kind of things prosper. So it is every kind of evil prospers. Every kind of evil increases and multiplies when the upright, when the good men keep quiet, when they say, oh, it's not our business. Oh, okay, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to offend anybody. Oh, I just face my business. Anybody that says I just face my business, they are the ones contributing to all the evil that is happening in this world. There is a situation that just happened in Nigeria recently, last week I think, that led to Pastor Adeboye resigning from. Pastor Adeboye is the leading clergyman in Nigeria, and I think maybe the number one pastor, denomination or church in the world. So he had to resign his position as the GO of Nigerian church, and because of some political things going on. So when, what he said later on at the end of the day, when that decision touched him, and what led to his resignation, at the end of the day he said, I am now appealing to all my members, or maybe he said in other words, but basically he was appealing to all his members to go and join political parties. He was now telling his members, go and join political parties everywhere and go into politics. That until we Christians go and join political parties and go into politics en masse, nothing will change. Pastor Adeboye before used to say, no, I'm just called to do the church. I'm only called to build Redeemed Church, and this is my calling. I face my business. I face my calling. So you see that Pastor Adeboye and other people, they try not to comment on political things in Nigeria. They try to be silent. You know, the church people in Nigeria generally, they just try to be silent concerning political matters. They don't touch it. They just try to be gentlemen, to try to be good. Until the politics itself started dealing with them one by one, then they started waking up and say, oh yeah, it's time now to begin to join politics. Now, so thank God that thing happened to Pastor Adeboye, because if it didn't happen, his people would have known that they have his blessings to go en masse and do all kind of political activities. So for the first time, he openly called people. Maybe he had been blessing people individually or privately, but openly called all the members to go join politics. But before, the stance was anything that is happening nationally, oh, let's all just pray, let's just pray. Now, only God can save Nigeria, let's just pray. But until Christians begin to realize that only the gospel of the kingdom will redeem the earth, and Nigeria in particular, that nothing will happen. So just to be saying gospel of salvation, we only care about salvation of souls. We just want people to go to heaven, or our own deal just to do the spiritual stuff. You know, one day the politics will deal with us, and when the politics begin to deal with you, because I live in Russia. I've lived in Russia for the past 30 years of my life. I know what it means when politics begin to deal with you. I have been a victim of it for a long time, and I've gone through the system, the process of being attacked by politics, of how evil politics could be if you are not in charge. So thank God that thing happened to Pastor Adeboye, whatever the thing is. Some people are thinking that it was a bad thing. No, I think it's a good thing. Everything works together for good for those people who love God and who are called for his purpose. So I think that was a good thing that happened with the situation with Pastor Adeboye, because now all the Christians in Nigeria would know. Now we got the blessing of the most senior clergy. Now we are supposed to be more actively involved in politics. Otherwise, Muslims and others are the people taking charge of politics in Nigeria. But can you imagine if all the Christians, all actively born again Christians, begin to get involved in Nigerian politics? And if they are going to be trained and coached and prepared for that, especially, things are just going to change in our country. So it's the same thing with this charlatan thing. We should not keep quiet, just like our leaders have been quiet about politics. Just like the pastors and clergy have been quiet about politics, so that's the way they are still quiet now about other pastors who are just charlatans. And I think they shouldn't be quiet. I think everybody needs to begin to raise their voice, both against the bad behavior of their colleagues, of fellow pastors, and the bad boys who are doing MMM and things like that. Everybody is supposed to raise up their voice. Every conscientious Christian, every Christian leadership is about giving leadership. So for you to be a leader, to say you are a pastor or a leader, you shouldn't just be a pastor in your own local church. To be a leader, you shouldn't just be a leader of your own local church. You are a leader of the society. You are an example, a model for your country. So you are supposed to talk into the life of the general country. Some people will even tell me, they used to tell me, Pastor, face your business. I'm going to write a book about that. Pastor, face your business. I'm going to, oh, you mean it? For sure? So it's not my business when I talk about politics. It's not my business when I talk about the economy. You mean it? Okay. Then you tell me. Wasn't it God's business that Samuel was doing when he was talking about politics, when he was installing kings in Israel? Was it not God's business? Huh? When John the Baptist, even though he got his head cut off, but he did the will of God. When he went to challenge the Herod of his days, was it not his father God's business he was doing? Was it not God's business he was doing when the first apostles, they had disciples in the court of Caesar? In the court of Caesar, they had disciples. Why were they not doing the work of God? So does that mean that they were not in God's business? Does it mean that it was not God's business when Joseph got involved in the politics of Egypt? It was not God's business? You think it was not God's business when Daniel got involved with the Babylonian politics? It was not God's business? Look at all the men of God in the Bible. It was not God's business when Paul said that even though I must be tied in Jerusalem, but is it in Rome? I must go there anyway to testify, both from the court of Caesar to the very least of the people there. Even I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my life. I'm still going to do it. Wasn't that God's business? So it's unfortunate that we think that God's business is only to read the Bible. It's unfortunate when we begin to limit God to just the four walls of the church. It's unfortunate when we begin to limit God just to the pulpit. It's unfortunate when we just limit God to our little doctrine, our little denominations. No, my friends, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. So we have the right to speak to all the earth and the fullness of the earth, because the earth and the fullness thereof belong to the Lord. And since the earth and the fullness of the Lord belong to the Lord, we can speak to those things. We could speak to everything that is happening in any part of the earth, in every sphere of the earth, be it that politics, be it that economy, be it that culture, be it that entertainment, be it that engineering, technology, be it that medicine, be it that every sphere of life could be used to glorify God. So don't be deceived by thinking that you are only meant to read the Bible alone and to only speak about spiritual things. No. That is the greatest deception of Satan against the church. And that is one of the reasons why Satan will always defeat the church and will always win the whole earth to itself. It will conquer the whole world without us even lifting a finger, because we have been deceived to believe that the earth is satanic or is demonic and is devilish, and that only God, only Bible and spiritual matters, only prayer we could do. But thank God that thing happened to Pastor Adelaja. Thank God the man of God, he had the voice of God. Sometimes that's the best way for God to speak to us, either by good or by force. Sometimes he uses situations like that to speak to you and to teach us. And that statement that Pastor Adelaja made, that people should go into politics, is one of the greatest things that will happen to Nigeria and to Nigerian Christianity as a whole. So I hope the people will take it serious. And from what I think people are not taking that statement too serious. People are more talking about the fact that they are talking about the guy Obazi. They think he's a bad guy, and I think that's not the matter. I think God used him, no matter whatever decision he took, and we think it's not right. But I think God used that guy, and that's number one. Number two, people are talking about Pastor Adelaja is stepping down or not stepping down. Is he going to be there, or is he going to be in charge or not going to be in charge? But I think God has already fulfilled his purpose through that crisis. God has fulfilled his purpose, and he has used the man to use his authority to release the body of Christ into the freedom of being able to go into politics and being able to do everything to be able to bring Christians into the place of power, so that we will be the one deciding the future and the destiny of our country, not some ungodly people that that we don't like that they are there, but we don't go there. So if we are not going there, then only the ungodly people are left. They are the only ones who are going to be taking charge of it instead of us, because we are not going there.